In response to Rickea is a big part of our organization and our team, and she's taking personal time, and we support her, and we're excited to get her back when she's ready to be back. In response to the team, it's been, this is our 8th game in 16 days. That part's been a challenge. And so while you need to have time, with everything being so new, as we've mentioned, practice time would sure be nice. But it's not something that we're given right now, and that's okay. And no one feels sorry for us, and we're not asking for that. So I think that's what you're seeing a little bit with the inconsistency, is that we, it's game, travel, one day to get them recovered and do all the things while trying to go over an opponent, and then execute. So, after this game, we have 4 days of practice, which sounds like training camp at this point. I can't wait. And actually tomorrow's off, and then we'll have 3 days of practice, which I haven't said. So I'm looking forward to that, and we can kind of regroup and do some things, but it's just part of it. That's the way the schedule landed, and again, I'm not asking for any sort of exception to that. We've got to be ready to go, and we've let our inconsistency has cost us a couple games.
And just to piggyback off of that, Coach, like you guys have spurts to where it looks really tough, but then you have like the last game you have a spurt where it's like, yo, they look amazing. Who are the players? I know the coaches, you guys have your voices that you're talking to the players to fight and push through, but who are those players that are like the leaders for your group to kind of like, hey, we got to pick it up and do better if we want to pick up these wins?
Yeah, as I've mentioned many times, I do think this is a really good group. So I wouldn't say it's one voice. Obviously, KP and De'Erica, their voices are steady. Emma Cannon is phenomenal in that regard, and always is saying the right things at the right times, has everyone's respect. But I think those three probably right now.
Hey, Coach. Speaking to Azure after your last home loss, and she spoke about how you need to just put together a complete 40 minutes, which I know is easier said than done, and also pointing to your last game against the Mercury, it was that third quarter. So I guess in your perfect world, what does a great third quarter look like for you guys?
More than 7 points. Although I don't know how many it was, but it felt like 3. It was 7. Thank you. I think it's doing our group has to find a way to do the simple things consistently, whether that's transition defense. We have not been consistent in that, and in this league, if you have 3-4 minutes of bad stretch with that, you're down 10 suddenly. We have to be consistent in our ball screen coverages. We have to be consistent with moving the ball on offense. So those are the 3 things that have been inconsistent in those runs. Offensively, we get away from what we're trying to do as a group. We do a little too much one-on-one, ball gets sticky, and then just defensively not having the intensity it takes for 40 minutes.
How do you evaluate turnovers? Like, how do you personally evaluate when you see the turnovers happen? Like, are there good turnovers you can live with?
Yes.
Like, what are the turnovers you can't live with?
The ones that are, it's a good question. I don't know how much time we have here, but I don't mind the turnover. Like, we want to play with tempo, right? So we want to get up and down the floor. So if we have a turnover for them trying to do that, maybe they throw a high lead pass to De'Erica and it just kind of slips their hands out of bounds. I'm fine with that. They're trying to do what we're trying to do, right? It's the ones where it's, casual pass, casual catch, those types. Or the ones where, we're supposed to be executing ABC and they just get to A and it's like they turn it over trying to do something. Like, those are kind of, to me, mental toughness ones. Those are the ones that we cannot have if we expect to win in this league.
My follow-up is, you guys are 8th in turnover rate in the league, but you're actually 12th in giving up points per 100 possessions off of turnovers, second worst in the league. How do you kind of get the team to, when there is a mistake, to actually not hang their head and to get back in transition to where you are able to play at a half-court defensive rate that you guys have been good at this season.
Yeah, if you have a key for that, that'd be great, if you could let me know what to tell them. We've talked about that, and I think it's human nature, right? You make a mistake and it's like, but you can't do that. And so we've hammered it in film, and again, we haven't had practice time to actually work on things. So it's more just their intensity and willingness to do it. But it's a huge one. You're absolutely right.
John.
Coach John W. Davis with the Southern California News Group. You're getting to the part of the season where you're about to see everybody you're about to play a second time around. What type of energy and effort do you want to see from your team the second time they play a team?
Well, I think there's just I think you should have a little more, and this cuts both ways because the other team's gonna have the same thing, but you should just have a little more confidence with who what the game plan is. We've seen them, so you can make adjustments to what worked, what didn't. Try different things. I think you can get into a little more chess than checkers the second time, third time you play. I mean, this will be the third time we play Golden State, right? And so, you're gonna make adjustments, but again, we've got to play for 40 minutes. Doesn't matter who we're playing. There's got to be an intensity and a focus and a commitment to doing the simple things. And simple doesn't mean easy. Sprinting back in transition isn't easy, but it's simple. We've got to do the simple things for 40 minutes to give ourselves a good shot.
So Rick.
Hey Coach, you mentioned wanting to be more consistent with your ball screen coverages. Is that more of a challenge when you're playing a team like Phoenix that runs so many inverted screen rolls?
I know they do.
Yeah.
A lot of little to big screens. No, it's just the nuances that players are playing. Obviously, instead of guarding the ball, they're guarding the screener, which is just different. But the philosophy remains the same. And I thought we did a good job at Phoenix, but it was that third quarter and offensively. And so we've got to, again, I know I'm repeating myself, but we've got to do it for 40 minutes.
Azure with 23 points. Kelsey and Dearica being the focal points of other teams' defenses
Yeah.
a lot of time. Are you happy with what you're getting out of her in your offense, or do you think there's some stuff left on the table with how you can optimize what Z is putting up?
I'm happy with her. I think, but yes, we can she's shooting a tremendous percentage from three. She didn't have a great shooting night at Vegas. She got good looks, and I have every confidence that she'll hit them the next time. But yeah, there's always ways we can tweak and adjust things to where she's maybe getting utilized a little more. But her strengths fit into kind of being not necessarily the go-to, but the get. Like she gets it, even if she's not the go-to.
Dave.
Hey Coach, we talked about this a little bit before, but with such short practice time, things kind of coming at you fast. Your rookies, SA, Leah too, the way they've kind of just been thrown out into the fire like that. Just